Hey everybody, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're from. I've got 3 new prints rocking and rolling on the large scale printers I have. The 2 Elegoo Neptune 4 Maxes are working out really well, and the Anycubic is working really well. The enclosure is working. I'm actually seeing really nice prints coming off these. I do like the gravity spool holder on the Elegoo. I'm not a big fan of the gravity spool holder setup on the Anycubic right now. If anybody out there knows how to modify the sensor, the runout sensor on the Elegoo, or sorry, on the Anycubic to move it up here, I have a bracket and everything to put it up there. I just don't know, maybe I could buy a wire somewhere and just snap it in and move it up here. I don't really want to splice into it and modify it in that way. I would rather just kind of snap in a wire and have the wire extension come up there. If anybody has any information on something like that, I'd love to hear. That way I can find something and mod it. You can see the cord right here. I put up a little security camera to monitor everything. It's not a bad place for it. I can see all 3 printers, but I really would like to do, and this is another thing I want to hit up on you guys. I'd really like to see if anyone has done maybe the Creality K1 monitors, the little AI cameras that they have. I'd love to see if anybody's modded them to fit on the Elegoos, because I know Elegoo and Anycubic run on Klipper. The Elegoos, I have access to the Klipper, so I think that maybe there's something I can add to add that AI camera monitoring. I'm just not familiar with Klipper right now. I'm still kind of learning. I went to their website a couple nights ago and kind of read up on a bunch of stuff, but I'd really like to add some sort of individual AI monitoring camera to each individual printer. So if you guys have any information, if any of you guys that are watching this have any information, have you ever done it or seen a video, comment and let me know. I'd love to go do some more research and figure out how to be able to do that, especially on the Elegoos. I'm not sure it's going to be possible on the Anycubic because the Anycubic doesn't let me access the Klipper on the backside, so I'm not sure if that's something I can do on the Anycubic. So that's, if somebody has been able to, let me know. That's 2 things I'd love help with from the customers. The other thing I was going to catch up on, let you guys know on, is both Elegoos are now running the hard Teflon spacers under the bed. I haven't had to manually adjust them because I basically put locking nuts on them. So they're just basically printing with an auto level setup. The bed mesh is just wacky on both of them, and it's just all over the board. But it seems the prints seem to be sticking to the bed. First layer adhesion seems to be good. The prints coming off of them are actually pretty good. They're not horrible. This is one of the first ones off, so you can kind of see a little bit of the bed Z wobble. It was much nicer, honestly. It was much nicer with the silicone bushings. I was getting a little bit better. I was getting a much better print. It's not bad, honestly. These are going to be sanded and painted anyway, so it's not bad. But I think there might be some benefit to having those silicone spacers, just because that's probably from the vibrations in the printer. So that's probably where I'm getting some of that I don't know, poor quality Z lines that you're seeing in this thing. Like I said, it's not horrible, but it's just, I think that's kind of from the vibrations. That's my theory. So, if you see that and you have other ideas, let me know, because I'm happy to try to play around with whatever works. So, but the beta testing on the 2 beds are working out pretty good. I mean, I'm not horrible. It's not horrible. So, I can't complain. I don't have to manually level the beds anymore, which is, I hated that. It drove me nuts. I did read about last night. I read about something called, what was it? It's called screw tilts. So in Klipper, you can set up a feature called screw tilt, and it'll tell you exactly how much to turn the knobs to level the bed. I think that might be a better way to go. If I can't get the prints to turn out better, I might try that. I might go back to having the silicone spacers and try the screw tilt feature for Klipper. So that's something, you guys could always Google and check out if you're ever interested in something like that. It does seem like it would make life a little easier for adjusting the knobs. I just get tired of adjusting knobs, and then with a printer that moves this fast, it's just kind of frustrating. So, but on this printer, I did set up the linear rails for the Y-axis, and they're working out pretty well. I have a sneaky suspicion that maybe my bed mesh being wonky might have to do with that. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. So I kind of have to play around and learn more about the bed mesh and how that works in Klipper. But anyway, guys want to see some cool stuff? Oh man, getting old. I printed, it's Iron Man Punisher. Pretty cool design. So that's an Iron Man Punisher helmet. I printed that for the gentleman that sent me the linear rails. And then a Starkiller helmet. Now, I've printed a lot of Starkiller helmets. They're kind of a frustrating print because they fail for me more often than they succeed. This particular one, because I have the bigger printers, have learned how to mod these to print them as one piece. And this particular print was the first test, and it has one little issue right there, and it's not bad, it's fixable. It's just for a customer, I'm not going to send them something that I don't like that's got a little issue. But it's this nose portion, the mouthpiece is moved forward too much. When you're doing something like this and you're trying to take a file that's designed to be 4 or 5 separate pieces, and you're trying to glue them all together in Mesh Mixer, you're trying to make them all fit properly. It can be a little tricky, you're making the sizing and everything right. I know a lot of the makers I've talked with, they design them with, the tolerances. So when you try to print them in one piece, they don't want to print right away that way. So you kind of have to make all the little pieces a little bit bigger. It's not terrible. It's just playing around with and testing and that sort of thing. I prefer to print them as one piece because I hate gluing these pieces together. I've already built a Starkiller helmet, and it was a nightmare to have to glue them into individual pieces in. I used a lot of UV tough resin to make sure they stayed in place, and I just didn't like that. I know why a lot of these makers are making things for smaller printers. A lot of people run into Bambu Lab printers and the K1 Max printers and that sort of thing, and you can't print a full-size Starkiller helmet on that. You just can't. They're just a massive helmet. So, the skirt on them just makes them too big for most little tiny printers. And I don't have little tiny printers. I have big printers. So I'm on the other end of that spectrum where I need, I don't need, but I want one-piece helmets so I can just print them as one solid piece and save everybody a lot of time and headache and the nightmare of having to glue and make sure everything sticks together. But so I don't mind. I mod them a little bit to work for me, and that works. It's worked out so far. I do have questions. If anybody's done an Iron Man helmet, I've only printed a few of them. I've never finished one myself, and I don't like that these just kind of sit on there. I don't like that that's the design. I wish they had magnets, and if it was me, I'd probably modify it just to put magnets in it. If there's a way to fix this so that maybe it tilts upwards or something, if anybody's done one of these, let me know. Comment in the comment section and let me know what's the typical way of doing that, because that drives me nuts. I'm sorry, but this drives me nuts that it just flops off. This is not the only design. I have a lot of Iron Man helmets that are designed this way. They're not designed to have like a magnet or a way to attach the face, and it just kind of, maybe that's in the maker's side of things, to make it your own personal thing. But it just, I don't know, it rubs me wrong. I wish they were designed a little bit differently, but that's just me. When I put something together, I want it to work as it's intended right out of the design. So modifying things doesn't bother me too much, but that's just one of those things where it seems like it should be designed. If you're not going to design it with a tilt feature, then design it with magnets so they attach. I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys normally do. I'd love to hear that, because I don't know. I don't make a lot of Iron Man helmets. Most of the stuff I do is Star Wars, or I've done a lot more Destiny video game stuff too lately. A lot more orders for that sort of stuff. So it's kind of cool. I'm actually printing, after this I'll be printing, I have 2 orders for the helm of Saint 14, I think is what it's called. So anyway, yeah. So I've got a lot of different video game stuff now. I'm adding more. I'm gonna add some more Halo stuff. I added some Aliens series stuff, which is kind of cool. But anyway, that's it. That's it for stuff for me to check in with you guys about. If you have questions or if you're curious about stuff, I'll try to get back to you on in the comments. I know I get a lot of comments, and I try to be as responsive as I can. So I'm gonna go through actually after I do this video and check my comments and see if anybody has something that they'd like answers to. But thanks for watching, guys. I know this video's long. I'm gonna probably have to cut it up into little pieces to spice it together. But thanks for watching. Happy printing.